Any way you slice it, well-made cutlery makes a difference in everything from food prep to presentation to how the food actually turns out. Knowing which knives you need, however, isn't always second nature. In this video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know about knives and cutlery in the kitchen. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to click the link in our bio to see our full collection of knives and cutlery. And make sure you like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our latest products. Knives are designed with specific jobs in mind. You can start your knife collection by buying a set, or you can pick and choose which knives you want. Typically, buying them as a set will be cheaper, and the basics will come with it. One of the most important things to consider when buying a knife is how comfortable it is to you. You should be holding them in your hand and seeing how they feel, making sure they have a good grip and feel well balanced. You'll also want to consider the different materials knives are made of. Carbon steel is strongest and sharpens to a fine edge, but tends to discolor with acidic foods and runs the risk of rusting if not completely dried after use. Stainless steel is great, but doesn't keep a sharp edge as well as carbon steel. Caring for stainless steel is much easier, however, because it's not going to rust. Then there's high carbon stainless steel, which is more high-end and offers the best of both worlds. It's strong and will hold a sharp edge, but it won't rust or have any discoloration from acidic foods. Lastly, there's VG10 steel, which is the gold standard of cutlery and can maintain a very sharp edge while withstanding rust and discoloration. If you're looking for an all-purpose type of knife, we would suggest going with either a chef's knife or a utility knife. Both are super versatile and are great for precise cutting, slicing, and chopping. Precision is a key factor to look for when purchasing knives, and if you're looking for one that's made just for that, we'd go with a paring knife or a santoku knife. A paring knife is kind of like a mini chef's knife and is used for controlled, detailed cutting. It can also do fun things like adding designs or patterns to food surfaces. A santoku knife is a mix between a chef's knife and a cleaver, and has a wider blade with a sharp tip for fast and precise slicing. You can make nice thin cuts with this one, and also slice things like celery, potatoes, and more. When it comes to meat, you've got a ton of options that are great for removing the meat from the bones, so you can get every ounce of it in your meal. If you're searching for this type of knife, look out for a boning knife, a slicing and carving knife, a trimming knife, a fillet knife, or a honeski knife. Boning knives are incredibly maneuverable, slicing and carving knives are great for neat, uniform cuts, and trimming knives are meant for smaller jobs. Fillet knives are perfect when preparing fish, and honeski knives are geared for working around bones and poultry. Then we have our cleavers, the meat cleaver and the vegetable cleaver. The meat cleaver breaks down larger cuts of meat and poultry, and it has a sturdy, finely honed blade that can easily cut through bones and tendons. It's usually not meant for slicing. The vegetable cleaver has a finer blade than the meat cleaver and is used for chopping and slicing produce. Some knives are meant for prepping food, while others are meant for finishing them off with garnishes. A nakiri knife is shaped similar to a cleaver and is used mostly for vegetable prep. A tomato/cheese knife cuts even the ripest tomatoes into neat, uniform slices and can slice up cheese for the most delicious cheese or charcuterie boards. These have a pronged tip that's designed for easy transferring from your cutting board to your plate. A peeling knife has a pointed tip that curves downward and is mainly used to cut decorative garnishes. It can also remove skins and blemishes from fruits and veggies. Now we've got some specialty knives. Your bread knife is perfect for, you guessed it, bread. It can slice through a crisp crust without squashing the soft interior. The steak knife speaks for itself. These are much sharper than classic dinner knives and combine a narrow upswept blade with a pointed tip so you can easily cut away meat from the bone. You can also add kitchen shears to the mix, which are unbelievably useful. Their versatility allows you to do all kinds of tasks, from trimming poultry to shaping pastry to cutting parchment paper. Most also have a pull-apart design for easy cleaning. When investing in cutlery, you'll want to be sure to also invest in honing steel to keep your blades sharp. These work to smooth worn steel on the edge of your blade. At a minimum, you should give your knives a thorough sharpening once a year. It does matter what type of knife sharpener you use, because the wrong one can actually do more harm than good. Sharpening steels work very well on almost all knives, or you could use a sharpening stone that is used for the same purpose. One thing to note, if your knives are already dull, no amount of honing will make them sharp again. Getting a knife block to store your new collection is the safest and best way to store your cutlery, because it protects the blades from damage and reduces the risk of accidental injury. We also recommend washing them by hand, even if they're dishwasher safe, because they can knock against other items, causing nicks in the blades. Make sure there's never a dull moment in your kitchen. If you have any other questions about knives and cutlery or what we carry here at Apt, please reach out to us by phone, email, or chat with one of our experts online. We're always happy to help.